Hello, writers. Welcome to this week's Write Along. I'm Eva Deverell, and if you haven't joined us before, here's how things work. I read a short excerpt to begin with, just to get some inspiration going for our writing session. Then we do a free write of 5 minutes. So we just use it to warm up, to get things off our mind. You can just describe your day or what you want to write or something of that sort. And then we're going to do a longer word sprint of 15 minutes, for which I will give you a writing prompt, but you can choose to use it or you can write about whatever you feel like. So let's get going. Here is the excerpt I have for you today, and it's from Recollections of a Happy Life, which is Marianne North's autobiography. Now, if you don't know Marianne North, she was a botanical artist, and quite a famous one, and she has a gallery at Kew Gardens, which I visited a couple of years ago, and there was also an exhibition on at the time, and I don't know if it was a permanent exhibition or not, but there were a lot of really interesting quotations about her and the people she had corresponded with, and I asked the lady there if there was a book that went along with the exhibition, and she said there wasn't, but she recommended that I check out Marianne North's diaries, or her autobiography, I guess. So, I went home and I Googled it, and this is what came up. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be in print at the moment, but you can go to archive.org and find both volumes of the autobiography, and I highly recommend you do. Whether you're particularly interested in her or not. Her travels and the people she describes, the places she describes, are just absolutely fascinating. And I really hope you'll enjoy this excerpt today, because I think it describes a very fascinating character who would make a really good heroine for a story, I feel. So here we go. We had much variety in our life, spending a winter at Hastings, the spring in London, and dividing the summers between my half-sister's old hall in Lancashire and a farmhouse in Rougham. We saw many pleasant people in all these places, but especially at Hastings. The one who made the strongest impression on me was Lucy Austen, then at school with Miss Shepherd at Bromley Common. She used to spend many of her holidays with us while her parents were abroad, and inspired me with the most profound respect and admiration as one raised above ordinary mortals. Her grand eyes, and deep-toned voice, her entire fearlessness and contempt for what people thought of her, charmed me. Then she had a tame snake, and must surely have been something more than a woman to tame a snake. She used to carry her pet about with her, wound round her arm, inside the loose sleeve which was then fashionable, and it would put its slender head out of the wrist-hole and lap milk out of the palm of her hand with its forked tongue. It was as fond of glittering things as Lucy herself, and when she took her many rings off her fingers and placed them on different parts of the table, it would go about collecting them, stringing them on its lithe body, and finally tying itself into a tight knot, so that the rings could not be got off till it pleased to untie itself again. Sometimes Lucy would twist the pretty bronze creature in the great plait of hair she wore around her head, and once she threatened to come down to a dinner party of rather stiff people, thus decorated, and only gave up when my mother entreated her, with tears in her eyes, not to do so. Isn't that, what a brilliant character. So I would really recommend you seek out this volume on archive.org and read the rest, because there are more of Lucy's antics, and she sounds like just such a fascinating person. I wish I could have known her. But let's go on to our free write. I will set my timer for 5 minutes. So I hope you have a pen and pencil, paper, or a new document open and ready, because we are going to start right now. That's our time up for the free write. So let's move on to our longer writing prompt, which is a character relates an anecdote about another character. So kind of inspired by the reading we just did. And for this, we will go for 15 minutes. And I will set my timer, so I hope you're ready. And again, if you aren't interested in this writing prompt, then just write about whatever you want. The point is that we commit to 15 minutes together and that we don't get distracted or anything like that. So ready, set, and let's go. Well, that's our writing prompt finished for this week. I hope my upstairs neighbors weren't too noisy, but yeah, I will be here at the same time next week, and I hope you'll join me. And let me know your word counts on Twitter. I'm Eva Deverell on there, and I would love to know how you did and whether you enjoyed the prompt. And I hope you keep writing. Have a lovely week. Bye.